Hi there, Sagittarius. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Astrogirl, and we're looking at July 6th through July 12th. And there's a lot of planetary play in earth and water signs, which doesn't necessarily gel well for you as a fire sign. It tends to put your fire out. If you think of a water sign, if you think of earth, it puts fire out. This is one of those weeks when laying low and not trying to do anything too strenuous and too difficult and really working on the things that you need to work on is important without allowing other people's mood swings and moods and emotional outbursts get the better of you, because you will find this week that there are some powerful, sensitive, and emotional issues going on around you. And then it's difficult for you to maybe get things done in the style that you would like to get them done, having fun, being rational, not being too analytical, and just, not saying, oh, but remember what happened last time when we tried to do that, all the Debbie Downers, and going ahead with something that's important to you. You may have a little bit of trouble doing that. So on Monday, July 6th, the life-giving sun arrives at its once-a-year opposition with transformative Pluto. Now, Pluto being in Capricorn is your second house of self-esteem and self-worth and money. Depending on which side you choose, this is the day when you can either make major power play or prepare to defend yourself from a major takeover. This face-off is a dress rehearsal for next week's battle between Pluto and Mars. On Wednesday, July 8, Mercury moves into Cancer. Next week there are 6 planets in Cancer, which is unbelievable, which is going to be your 8th house of joint resources and joint investments. So that is where the planetary play is going to be stationed in the way you share money with other people. So your ways of thinking and speaking will become less rational, much more subjective and instinctual. This kind of emotional influence could be a drawback for those of you who like to speak your mind, especially a drawback for those of you who need to be cool-headed and rational. But on the other hand, it's the perfect time to use your gut instincts. The subjective thought patterns of this planet sign combination affects travel, communications, and commerce over the next 3 weeks. So once again, really be thinking about how you can be in control of a situation and not let other people's emotional agenda ride over you, because there's nothing worse than trying to work with people who are all caught up in some sort of theatrical display. As you know, it just doesn't work for you. Next week, we have some changes in that. In the next couple of weeks, we have changes with Venus, the goddess of love, moving out of Leo into Virgo for a week, retrograding backwards into Leo, where it's out of phase in Leo for the whole month of Leo through September 5. It's definitely going to be a very interesting make-up to break up to make-up time. I think a lot of celebrity couples will break up while Venus is out of phase because it's affecting fire and earth signs. So for those, an example, Ben Affleck, who's a Leo, Jennifer Garner, who's an Aries, has been a lot of talk of them breaking up. And because of planetary play, maybe they will, and maybe they'll get back together, or maybe they'll have a trial separation and we won't even know about it. I think that other people like Lady Gaga, her engagement, and things like that, the James Packer, Mariah Carey romance, whether or not that'll ride out Venus retrograde, I'm not quite sure, because it's going to be a very strong one in 2 very strong signs. More about that later, but just so you know, in a couple of weeks, things could be very different in your love life than how they are now. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be kind to yourself, and I'll speak to you again next week.